Hello students. So in the previous session we have seen about we have started with the organizing files wherein we saw about the sh util module, and we also saw the functions related to copying and moving, all those things, and we also saw how you can delete the file, how you can use the third party module that is send to trash, and using that you can take your content or the file into the recycle bin. So these were the things what we had seen in the previous session. So now we'll move on with the next topic, that is walking a directory tree. So now suppose you want to rename every file in a folder, and also every file in every subfolder. Okay, so you want to rename everything, that is files in a folder, and also in subfolders what you have, even that you want to rename. Okay, that is nothing but you want to walk through the directory tree. So here walking a directory tree is nothing but every folder, and inside that whatever subfolders you have, and also the files. Okay, so that is nothing but you can call it as walking through the directory tree. That is nothing but you're touching each file as you move in. So writing a program to do this might be what of a one you can say, but Python provides functions to handle this process. So that is what we are going to see in this particular topic. So you can see here an example is given to us. So here I can see here you have the C drive. Inside that you have the folder delicious. Under delicious you have a subfolder as cat and walnut, and a file spam.txt. Under cats you have cat names and Zofia, and under walnut you have waffles and butter.txt. So you need to walk through, or other way you can also say you want to visit all those files. Okay, so for that we have a function in Python that is called as os.walk. Okay, so the os.walk function, you can see here, this is an example program that is given. So os.walk function, so for this particular function we are passing a single string value. So what is the string value we have passed? We have passed this directory. Okay, the path of a folder. So c colon slash this particular directory delicious. So we have written c colon slash delicious, that is nothing but the path of the folder delicious. So we can use os dot walk it within a for loop also, that is within a for loop statement, to walk a directory tree. Okay, so you can see here this in os dot walk, and for that parameter you have passed is a path, that is nothing but you are trying to walk through the directory. So we are using it here, we have used it inside the for loop statement to walk a directory tree. Okay, so this is somewhat similar to the range function, in which we want to walk over a range of numbers. So if you're saying 0 to 10, that means you will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, right? So when you say a range, if you're given 0 to 10, so it will go from 0 up to 9. Okay, unlike range, the os walk function will return 3 values on each iteration through the for loop. That is, what is the return type this os dot walk is going to return is, so it is going to return a string of the current folder name. Okay, so you can see here, this is the output what you've got here. So just see here, the result of what the value what it is going to return is, first of all, a string of current folder name. So you can see the current folder is c colon slash delicious. Next thing is a list of strings of folders in the current folder. So inside the current folder, what folders you have? That is nothing but the second return type what you're saying, a list of strings of folders in the current folder. So what is the current folder? Current folder is delicious, right? C colon slash delicious. Inside delicious you have here you have cats, and also you have walnut, and also you have a file called as spam.txt. Okay, and it also returns a list of string of files in the current folder. So you can see here it is displaying. So just see the result here. Current folder is delicious, subfolder is cats, one more subfolder is walnut, and a file inside this particular directory is spam.txt. That is nothing but what you are saying, that's a return type, a string of the current folder name, a list of strings of the folders in the current folder, list of strings of the files in the current folder. Okay. So here when you say current folder, it's nothing but the folder of the current iteration in the for loop. So the current working directory of the program will not be changed by os.walk function. Okay. So that is what we are going to say about os.walk. So here in the program, you just see here we have used imported the module os, and for folder name, subfolder and file names. Okay, so what you're going to take, you're going to consider the folder name, subfolder as well as file names in what, in os.walk. That is nothing but you're going to walk through this directory. Which directory, or what is the path you're passing? C:/delicious. Okay, so you're printing. What are you going to print? We are going to print the current folder. So our current folder is delicious. Okay, and after that, for the subfolder, again inside the subfolder, what you can have now inside subfolder, now inside the cat, what we have, we have cat names.txt and zophie.jpg. That is nothing but inside the current folder delicious/cats, what do you have? You have one file called as catname.txt and another file called as zophie.jpg. Similarly, inside walnut, the current folder is walnut. Okay, inside that what you have? We have a subfolder that is called as waffles. Okay, again we are going inside the subfolder, that is now that will be the current folder. So remember, current folder, the meaning of current folder is nothing but in the iteration. Okay, that is folder of the current iteration of the for loop, that you're calling it as a current folder. Okay, so for the next iteration, the current folder will be waffles. Inside the waffle we have butter.txt. So what are you going to display? You're going to display the file name, file inside, that is folder, as well as the file names will be displayed. Okay, just like how we can choose the variable name I in the code, I in range of some value 10 if you're giving, you can also choose the variable names for the three values that is listed here, that is folder name and current folder as well as files in the current folder. Usually we give the name as folder name, subfolder name and file name. So usually in for loop what we do, we use I, j, such kind of variable name, right? So here you can use that also, or you can go something like this. Folder you want to display, so you're giving the variable as folder name. Subfolder you want to display, you're giving as subfolder. File names if you want, you can give it as file names. Okay. So here what does os.walk do? os.walk returns list of strings for the subfolder and the file name variables. So you can use this list in their own for loop. Okay. So if we are going to replace this print function call with our, we can replace this print function with our own custom code also if you want. Okay. So that is about walking a directory. So walk, in simple words, if you're saying walking a directory is nothing but you're going to visit all the folders as well as subfolders as well as files which is given in the current path. Okay. So next we'll move on with the next topic, that is nothing but compressing file with zip file module. So we are familiar with the zip files, right? So files which are having extension as .zip. So these files can hold compressed contents of many other files. So compressing the file means is nothing but you're trying to reduce the size of that particular file, so which will be useful for transferring it over the internet, right? And since the zip file can also contain multiple files and subfolders, it's an easy way to package several files into one. So this single file, you're calling it as archive file or archive file. Some say archive or archive. So that single file you can call it as either archive or archive file. Okay, so that can be attached, that particular file can be attached to a email. So our Python program can both create and open. So create, we know, open in the sense we can say extract. Okay, extract zip files by using functions in the zip file module. So we are going to see all those. So suppose we say we have a zip file named some example.zip. Okay, so you say that we have a zip file called as example.zip that has a content which is shown here. Okay, so we can download the zip file from here in the textbook. They have given the site, that is the textbook site, or just any zip file you can give. Okay, so if they have given a path in your textbook, that is a path where this particular file is stored. Okay, so starting the introduction part of compressing file with the zip file, what you're going to say, why are we going to compress? The main purpose of compressing is nothing but you want to reduce the file so that you can transfer it over the internet. Okay, so it is like you're packaging several files into one. That file you can call it as archive or archive file, which can be attached into the email. Okay, so this is just an example that is given to you in your textbook, that is example.zip. So in example.zip, what you have? You have the folder cats, under which you have the files catname.txt, zophie.jpg, and a file spam.txt. So we have the next part here, which comes under compressing only, that is reading a zip file. Okay, so you want to read a zip file. So to read the contents of the zip file, first we must create a zip file object. Okay, so you want to read the contents of the zip file means, first of all we need to have a zip file object. Okay, so zip file objects can be similar to the file objects that we saw written by the open function. In the previous chapter we had seen about the open function, which is going to return us, right? So we had seen that MSB shelf, that is nothing but the object which is written by the open function, right? They are the values through which the program interacts with the file. So to create a zip file object, call zipfile.zipfile. So you can see here, how are you going to create a zip file object? By calling this function zipfile.zipfile, passing it a string. Okay, passing it a string of .zip file name. Okay, so here what have you passed? You have passed example.zip. So the extension should be zip file. Okay, file name. So here this is how you can create a zip file object. So your zip file object is example.zip. So a zip file object has a name list method. You can see here the zip file object is having this name list method that returns a list of strings for all the files and subfolders which are contained inside the zip file. Okay, so here what are we saying? Zip file object, which is a zip file object, that is example.zip, that is having a method called as namelist method. So this method is going to return a list of strings for all the files and folders that are present inside the zip file. Okay, these strings can be passed to the function here, that is getInfo. It can be passed to this getInfo function, zip file method, to return a zip info. So get info means what? It is used to get the zip info object about that particular file. The zip info object have their own attributes, such as name of the file and the compress size in bytes, which holds integer of various file size and compressed file size respectively. While a zip file object represents an entire archive file, a zip info object holds just the useful information about a single file in that archive. Okay, so the zip info object holds just the useful information about a single file in the actually. So here the command over here, that is compressed file, is percentages round spam info spam compressed file, calculates how efficiently example.zip is compressed by dividing the original file size. Okay, by dividing the original file size by the compressed file size, and prints this information using string formatted with percentage s. So what are we doing here? We are going to print. You can see compressed file is 3.63x smaller. That is nothing but the value of your percentage s. How you're going to get the value of percentage s? The original file size divided by compressed file. Okay, that is how you are going to get the compressed file size. So that is an example for reading a zip file. Similarly, next one we will go. So extracting. So for extracting means what? That zip file, you are getting the data from that particular zip file, right? So for that we are using extract all method. So to extract from the zip file, you are using the method extract all for zip file object, which extracts all the files. So this is your zip file object, which extracts all the files as well as folders from the zip file into the current working directory. So it is going to extract all the details. Okay, when you're running this code, so after you're running this code, the contents of example .zip will be extracted to C drive. Okay, optionally we can also pass a folder name to extract all. So here we have not passed, but it is possible to do that, wherein you're passing some folder name. Okay, so in that case, if the folder passed to extract file method does not exist, then it is going to create a folder. Okay, for this particular example, if you replace the call at this particular location, that is example zip extract all with, so instead of this, if we have written extract all c colon slash delicious, instead here we have not passed anything, right? So instead of that, if you have written like c colon slash delicious, then the code would extract the files from example.zip into newly created folder, that is c colon delicious folder. Okay, so what are we telling here? If you're passing some path over here or parameter for this extract all, then the extracted information will be present in this newly created example. Here it is given as delicious folder. Okay, the extract method for zip file object will extract a single file from the zip file. Okay, so it is going to extract a single file from the zip file. So again, this you can write it in the interactive shell and just check. The string what you have passed to extract must match one of the strings in the list returned by name list. Okay, so whatever value you are passing over here, or whatever string you are passing over here, it should match one of the strings in the list returned by name list. Okay, so name list we have here over here. Okay, so in the name list you have spam.txt, cat slash txt, cat.zophie.jpg. So whatever name you are passing to the extract, that should be there in this name list. Okay, so optionally you can also pass a second argument to the extract method to extract the files into a folder other than the current working directory. So if the second argument is a folder that still it is not existing, then Python will create that particular folder. So here whatever you have given, it is, if it is not present, then Python is going to create that particular folder. The value that extract returns is the absolute path to which the file will be extracted. So this is a abstract path that is written. So here the file will be extracted. Okay, so that is about your extracting zip files. We'll move on with creating and adding to zip files. So to create our own compressed zip file, we must open a zip file object in write mode by passing the mode here as W. Okay, so here you're passing the second argument as W here. So when you're doing this, it is in the write mode. So to create your own compressed zip file, we must open the zip file object in write mode by passing the parameter like this, that is second argument. Okay, so this is similar to what concept we had seen in files, wherein when you give W, that will be opened in the write mode. Same concept here also. Okay, so when you pass a path to the write function, write method of the zip file object, so this is your zip file object, new zip. Okay, so for this zip file object, when you're passing a path for the write function, when you're passing a path like this, so Python will compress the file at that particular path and add it to the zip file. Okay, so the write method's first argument here, that is a string of the file name to add, and the second argument is a compression type parameter. So what type of compression need to be done, that is the second parameter here, which tells the computer what algorithm it should use to compress the file. So here we have set the value to zip file dot zip deflated. So this specifies the deflate compression algorithm. So we don't need to worry about that. So what is it telling? It is that is an algorithm here. So how the compression is happening. Okay, that is a deflate compression algorithm, which is very much suitable for all types of data. Okay, so here in this code, so you have the zip file object, and here this is the file which should be compressed. Okay, so for the method write, the first argument is the name of the file which should be compressed, and the second parameter is going to tell you what type of compression you need to do. Okay, so the value when you're given like this, that is nothing but it specifies the deflate compression algorithm. So this particular code will create a new zip file. Okay, and the name of that zip file is new.zip, that has the compressed contents of the file spam.txt. Okay, so you're going to compress spam.txt, and the zip file is new.zip. So we should keep one thing in mind, that is write mode. Whenever you're using write mode, what does it do is it is going to erase all the existing contents of a zip file. So if you want to simply add files to the existing zip file, then instead of write, you can use append mode. Okay, as a second argument to zip file dot zip file to open the zip file in the append mode. So when you're opening in write mode, what happens? The previous existing content in the zip file will be erased. So if you don't want that to happen, then instead of W, you can write A. So that's all about creating and adding. Next, we'll move on with the project part. So the first project that is given is renaming files with American style dates to European style dates. So here, what is the problem statement they're giving is, suppose you're working in an organization, and in your boss may email, there are thousands of files which are having American style dates. When you say American style dates, you'll be having a date in the format month, date, and year. Okay, so you are having they are having thousands of files with American style dates in their names. Okay, so along with the file name, there will be date, which will be in the form of month, date, and year. That is DD, and YYY. That is 4 times Y. That is representing year. So this has to be renamed into European style dates. So European style dates, when you say, it will be DD, and YYYY. Okay, so date comes first. When you say American style, then it is month come first, and then you have the date. Whereas in European, date will come first and then you have the month. Okay, So what they're saying here is this might take the entire day because there are thousands of emails and everything should be checked and renamed. So why not go in for a program? And so instead of doing this manually, why not we write a program for this? So that is what we are going to do in this particular project, that is renaming files with American style dates to European style dates. So what and all will be done, that is given here as steps. So this particular project is going to search all the file names in the current working directory for American style dates. So all the file names which are having American style dates in their file name, that will be searched. Okay. There can be other files also which is not having date only in your file name. Okay. Suppose you are having some file name as abc.txt. So in that you don't have any date in that file name. But same thing if you're having a file name as 12 and 02 and 2020. So the 12 is a month and 02 is a date and 2020 is a year. That is the American style date in your file name. Okay, so along with that date you might be having abc.txt. So you have the date part along with the in the file name you have the date part also. So what you should do, only that date part should be converted into European style. Okay, so if it is found, it is good. So first of all we are going to search all the file names in the current working directory for American style dates. When one is found, it renames the file with the month and day swapped to make it European style. So that is what we are doing. You are searching for the file names which are having date in the American style form, and that date will be renamed into European style. That is, month will come, that is European style. When you say, it will be DD, MM and YY. That is, date comes first, then comes the month, and then comes the year. This means the code will be doing the following. So first of all, we are going to create a regular expression that can identify the text pattern for American style dates. So about regular expression, we have already seen in the previous sessions. So we are going to write a regular expression that is going to match the pattern or pattern, that is it should have this American style date, that is month, date and year. Okay, then we are calling os.listdir to find all the files in the working directory. So all the files that are there in the current working directory, that we are going to find by using this os list dir. So next we are going to loop over each file name using the regular expression to check whether it has a date. So the next step what we have to do here is os.listdir is going to give you all the files in the working directory. So you have to loop through all the file names and check whether the file name contains the date part, that is whether the file name contains any date which is in the form of American style dates. That pattern, that regular expression we have already mentioned. So what happens? All the file names is trying to match with the regular expression. Okay. So if it has date, then we rename the file using shutil.move. So if there is any date in the file name, then that will be renamed with shutil.move. So these are the things what this program is going to do. Okay. So we'll just see the programming code. So we'll see each one of them step by step. So what is the first step saying? The first part of the program, we need to import the necessary modules. So that you can see here the modules what we have imported is shutil, OS and RE. So we know what did we say in the previous session. So sorry, in the previous slide we said that each we are going to loop over each and we are trying to match whether there is any date, and if there is date then we are going to rename that particular file with shutil.move. So for that purpose, since you are using shutil.move, we are using the shutil module. Okay, so the first part we have to import the necessary modules. and after that we are going to create the regular expression that can identify month, date and year. Okay, so we also have the to do section. So to do section is going to tell us what are the other things we have to do. Okay, so remember, if the a question is asked in the exam to write the code for this, you have to start from step 1. Okay, all the steps you have to write. So this to do section is telling you what are the other things you have to do. So that is told in the next step. So for the first step purpose, what are we saying? We have to create a regular expression for American style dates. Okay. So first of all, import the module, that is SHOTL, OS as well as RE, that is for regular expression. Okay. So what is your regular expression? So you can see here we are going to create an object here, that is you're going to create a regular expression that matches the file with the American style dates, that is this. Okay, so rename the file with American, that is whichever is having month, date and year format, that should be converted to date, month and year, right? So first of all we are writing the pattern which is going to match this, that is month, date and year. So what is that pattern? So we are using this RE compile, and just see the pattern here. So beginning, this is your caret symbol. So caret symbol means it is representing beginning or starting. Starting of the file name, you can have anything. Okay, that is all text before the date. So this is representing the start or the beginning, and within the group what you're telling, that is starting you can have. So dot is representing a single character, and star it is representing zero or any number of characters, and question mark one character. So what is the meaning of this is, in the beginning you can have anything. Suppose you have a file name spam. Okay, spam 441985.txt. So the file name is spam followed by some date, right? So that spam is nothing but what you have written here. So in the beginning you can have any number of text. Okay, followed by that, so we are saying we are matching, we are writing the pattern to match American style date. So American style date means first should be month. So just see what is the pattern we have written here. Your month can begin either from 0 or 1. So suppose you have a date as 04. So for that you're writing 0. Okay, and followed by that this slash d. So slash d is nothing but 4, or you can have a date as 14. Sorry, or you can have a month as 12. Okay, you can have a month as 12, or you can have a month as 02. So that is nothing but 0 or 1. Question mark. So question mark, when you say one character, one of this will be there, followed by slash d. Slash d represents any digit. Okay, so this is going to match the month part. That is, you can have a month as 04, or you can have a month as 1, followed by the slash d is nothing but that is representing the digit part. Okay, that is 1 followed by the slash d is representing digit. So you can maximum month you can go up to 12. So you can write it as 2. Or if you're having a month as 02, that is February, you can write either as 2 or it can be 02 also. So 0, and after that slash d, that is representing 2. So this is the pattern what you have written for month to match month, and after that you are having a hyphen. So that is nothing but the hyphen here. Followed by that, next you're writing the date. So date can be beginning either from 0, 1, 2 or 3. So maximum you can have only 3, that is 31 is the maximum date what you can have. So either you can have a date as 0, followed by this slash d is nothing but representing a digit again. So you can have a date as 05, or you can have a date as 15, or you can have a date as 25, or you can have maximum date as 3 followed by 1. That is maximum date you can have as 31. Okay. So this is nothing but the pattern which is written for matching of date. After that you have a hyphen. Then you have the year. So that is nothing but the year. So here the pattern what we have written is the year we are representing only the year, that is 20th and the 21st century. So that is 1919, followed by that you can have two, you are having 2 digit 19, followed by that you can have 1925 or 1995. Okay, so 19 followed by 9 and 5, or 20 followed by 2 and 0, that is 2020. So that is for the year part. Okay, and this is nothing but so what is this, dot followed by star and question mark, that is you can have any number of characters after the date part. Okay, so here dollar is nothing but dollar is representing end, whereas caret is representing starting. Okay, so after the date again you can have any number of characters. Okay, and the last part what it is saying, we are using the verbose mode, wherein it is trying to match any text that comes after the date part. Okay, and next is a to do section. So that is nothing but what are the other things you have to do. So what are the other things you have to do? You have to loop over the files in the current working directory, and after looping, if there are any files which is not having any date, then you are going to skip that. Okay, if you're getting any file names which is having the date part, then what are we going? We are going to get the different parts of the file name. So these are the in step 2 what you have to do. We'll see that in step 2 what you are going to do. So we are going to identify the date parts from the file name. So what are we going? So as told in the first slide of this topic, what it is saying, you are going to search all the files in the current working directory. That is what os.list did. This particular statement is going to do. So for mr file name, that is for the file name in os list dot directory. So you're going to scan through all the files in your current working directory. Okay, and what are you going to do? You are going to search. What are you going to search? You're going to search for the date pattern. That pattern you have already given in the previous here. The pattern, that is, this is a regex object what you created, right? So you're going to search whether that file name is containing the date pattern. If it is not containing, then this object is going to return none. In that case, you simply skip that file. Okay, so any file which is not having the date pattern, then you're just going to skip it, and again you're going to loop with the other files. Okay, other file name. So what we are doing in this particular part is, you're going to scan through all the file names that is there in your current working directory, and if that file name is not having or not matching any date pattern, then in that case what you're going to do, you're just going to skip. Okay, continue. What does it do? Just go with the next file name. Okay, now if you're getting a file name which is having the date pattern, or it's just matching the date pattern, in that case what you're going to do, you're going to group as before part, month part, day part. So you're going to create the different groups, that is for the year and after part. Before part is nothing but before that actual date you might be having any other text, like spam 04, that is representing month, and date 25 and 2020. Suppose you have like this, that is 04 is April 25th 2020. So spam April 2020, something like that. So before part is nothing but spam. Month part is nothing but April, that is 04. Date part is nothing but suppose the date I have given as 20. So that is nothing but the date part. Year part is nothing but 2020. After part is nothing but after that date again you might be having some text. Okay, so suppose I have a date as April 20th 2020, and after that if you're having spam, that is nothing but your after part. So it is grouped this way. Okay, so here what we are telling, so that is what was told in the first part, that is you're going to loop over the file name using the regex to check whether it has date. If it has date, then next we have to rename. So we will do that. So before renaming, what did we do? Get the different parts of the file name that was there in the to do section here, right? So what did we do? We looped over the files in the current working directory. After that, if you have a file name which is not having the date part, then just skip it. Then after that, if you have a file name which is having the date part, then get the different parts of the file name. So what were the different parts? That is before, then month, date, year, and after part. So we made it as a different parts of the file name. After that, what we have to do, that is the last step, form the European style file name. So we got the American style, now we are going to convert it into European style, wherein date will come in the beginning. Get the full as well as absolute path, file path we have to get, and after that we are going to rename that particular file. So these are the remaining things what we have to do. So that we will be doing in the next step, the last step, that is step 3, form the new file name and rename the files. So in the last part, what we are going to do, we are going to form the European style file name. So in American style file name, what we said, we are having month, date, and year. In the European style, it should be date, month, and year part. Okay, so just see here, we are creating a European style file name. So we have the before part, wherein you might be having some text part. Then you have the day part, that is nothing but date. So you're converting it into European style, so you're writing the date part. Then after that you have a hyphen. Then you have the month part. So here plus is nothing but the concatenation what you've used. Okay, month part, and after that again you have a hyphen. Then you have the year part, and after that, after the date, you might be having some text part. So that will be written after this date. So suppose you had a file name as spam, month was 04, date was 20, and year was 2020. Suppose you had like that, now it will be converted to spam, okay, followed by day, that is 20, month is 04, year is 2020. After that file name, if you had any text, that will be written after this. Okay, and the next step what they're saying, so form the European style file name, we have done that. After that you have to get the full absolute file path. Okay, so that is what we are going to do in the next part, that is you are going to get the full path, and that is file name. Okay, so that is what the concatenated here what we are doing, the concatenated string in a variable, we have it in European file name. So here you are going to have the file name in which the date part you have converted into European file. So after that what you're going to do is, then we have to pass the original file name. Original file name will be there in MR file name, and the new European file name variable to shutil. Okay, so shutil, what does it do? It is going to rename that particular file. So what is shown over here is, so this part what you're going to do, you're going to get the complete file path. Okay, so once you've got the complete file path, now you have to rename the file. So the rename file, it will be in, so the change file, it will be there in your Euro file name. Original file is MR file name. Okay, so now you have to rename that particular file. Okay, so renaming MR file to Euro file name. So that thing you have to do. So what we have done here is, so shutil.move, initially we will comment it. Okay, so as told in the previous session, so any modification done means that will be the permanent one. So what we are doing here is, first we will print. So what is the print statement we have written? Renaming MR file to euro file. So that will be printed. So if that is correct, then after that you remove the comment section. So when you remove the comment section, what happens? The renaming will happen. So that is what is given here. Uncomment after testing. So what is the meaning of after testing? After testing is nothing but check the print statement. So print statement will display that MR file has been renamed to euro file. So if that is proper, then after that you can comment, you can remove this comment part. So that time the actual renaming will happen. Okay, print is just displaying. If that is proper, then only you uncomment this, then actual renaming will occur. So this is a project that is told, that is renaming files with American style dates to European style dates. Okay, thank you.